What's up, Flosstube? Welcome back. I'm Monica of Peaceful Times, and this is Flosstube number 7. All right, well, Merry Christmas and coming up on a Happy New Year. Today is December 28th, and I have been blessed to have a wonderful Christmas, and with all the hustle and bustle, was still able to enjoy my family and get to see both sides, my husband's side and my side. My brother is in Arizona for the time being, but with his family. They went on a much needed getaway, so we did miss them, but everybody else was around. And my oldest son, who's in the Air Force, was able to come home and bless us with his presence. So everyone's had a good time getting to see him, and he's been running around with his friends the last couple days, and will continue trying to catch up with all of them and see them as much as he can. So we're going to start in with a couple of finishes, and I'm not going to take a lot of your time today. There's a lot coming up in 2023 with different things, and so I want to kind of hit on some of those and let you know where I'm headed with some of that. So first of all, finishes, okay? So I had Santa Baby that I was working on and had done a good share of it. Was getting down to all the white that was left. And so I did finally finish. And here he is. He's not fully finished, obviously, but he is at least finished. This white was like, it felt like full coverage and took forever, but glad to have him finally done. I'm not sure how I'm going to finish it yet. I saw at Hobby Lobby they had a round frame with a round white frame. It had a saying, I think a kid's saying on it. So I'm not sure if I'll use that or find something else. Who knows? So haven't finalized that yet. The next thing is I showed a sneak peek in my last video of something I was working on, and this is just a pattern that I had kind of played with, drawn out, and decided to, I found a finish at Michael's. So this is called Merry and Bright, and it's on, if you can see here, there's, I think it said naughty or nice list, something like that. And then it had already the background, which is like a plaid. And I thought, oh, that kind of worked since it had the little Santa hat on it and everything. This is I got it at, I don't know, 60 or 70% off. But that's the number on it. And it's at Michael's. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe if I get out of the picture. So that's what that is. And I thought it worked out pretty well for a finish on there. It just sets up nicely, and I don't know, I have a whole bunch of designs that I've done, and I'm going to start stitching them out. I've just been playing with things on the computer, but I have no idea if they're any good or if anybody would ever want to stitch them. So if you have any thoughts, throw them in the comments. If not, I'm just going to enjoy doing them myself and putting them in my house and um, decorating that way. So some of the things that I continue to work on Christmas-wise. The first one is Lantern Lane by Little House Needleworks. And I had started this. I love this one. I think the first time I worked on it, I got a good share of the, excuse me, the border at the top done. And then I started in the next time on the tree. Well, I finished the tree and started a lantern, got the lantern done. And I like how that's coming along. So it just is, again, kind of slow moving, but it is one that I really enjoy doing. This one I stitched on, let's see if I can find it. I think it's a mushroom, 28 count Lugana mushroom. So I'd have to say that, the even weaves like the Luganas are probably my favorite to stitch on because they are super easy. They go super fast. The next one I continued to work on is also Little House Needleworks, and it is Quilt Shop. And I'm doing this one on 30 Count Lamb's Wool by WIPGO. So as you can see, I've added some of the red and the snow down here, and finished like the awning up here. So I got a little further on that one. And then I had one picked out that I was going to start on Christmas Day, and it's Joy, Rejoice, I don't know, something like that. It's a Plum Street sampler, and I will start it coming up. But my husband for Christmas got me a free pattern that he wants me to stitch, so I started that one instead. And what it's called is Appeal to Heaven, and it's a free chart online. And what it is it's a flag that we see all around the country. He's a trucker, so he sees them, different places all the time. And when we were looking last year to move to Tennessee, a lot of houses had this flag flying, and it's the Appeal to Heaven flag was the first flag of our nation and was flown by George Washington's Navy in 1775. It was also flown throughout the colonies during the Revolutionary War as a declaration that their only hope was in the God of heaven. The phrase, an appeal to heaven, implies that when all resources and justices on earth are exhausted, only an appeal to heaven remains. So it's a great one to start this season. He also got me a couple things from Hobby Lobby, some more rings, a project bag to put it in, the floss for it because there's only a couple colors, and so he was able to grab those. He took my daughter with, which helped him find all the things. And so this was my start. I'm doing this on obviously white. I think it calls for like a coffee tea dyed, maybe a vintage mocha or something, but he really wanted it on white because all the flags that are flown are actually on a stark white color. And this is a 28 count Lugana by Zweigart. So I started that. That was my Christmas start. As I had some time Googling around on the internet and looking to buy some fabric to go with some of the patterns that I had purchased back on all the Black Friday sales, which I will show you eventually, because those are the things that I'm going to get into. I learned some things. I found out that as you talk about linens, the different counts have different names. So as I was going through and I'd find something that said a Cashel linen or a Newcastle linen, or they all have a meaning to them, and I didn't know what it was. And I was like, well, what's the difference between a Newcastle linen and a Cashel linen? Well, Zweigart's name for 28 count is Cashel. So if you see Cashel, you just know it's 28 count. If it is Belfast, it's 32 count. If it's Newcastle, it's 40 count. I did not know any of this stuff. So you learn something new every day, right? As you get into this. Even weaves, Zweigart calls their even weave Lugana, and then an even weave by WIPGO is Jobelin. So that's Jobeline is considered an even weave. And a lot of times you can't get an even weave in like a 36 or 40 count. There might be some out there, 36, but I've really only found up to 32 count is where the even weaves kind of stop, or where the majority of them, different colors, manufacturers, are in the 32 count and less, 28, 32. Something else I learned was that WIPGO offers a soft version of linen, and it's called Country French. So it has, instead of the Aida feel to it, it has more of a linen-y Lugana feel to it. So if you can find something with Country French from WIPGO, you might have a very soft, nice piece there. All right, so now then, I also had seen and found a couple of different free patterns for Christmas, which is always nice. So the first one here, I printed this one off. This one is from the Scarlet House. I will link this one below. I'm also going to show you a picture of it. Well, first of all, here's the what the appeal to heaven will look like. That's that chart. And then here is the one I just showed you, the Scarlet House's Santa's Helpers. That's their free chart this year that they offered up. That one's kind of neat. They have some other ones on there, so if you like, I think these are little terriers. That one says Be Merry. At Thanksgiving time one year, they offered up this one, Thankful for You. I will link all these below so that you can find them as well. Then 2020, this one is from, I don't know who did this one. Oh, Hello from Liz Matthews. And so this is a very nice Merry Christmas one as well. I think they did it in green, like a I don't know, pine needle green. I think it would be pretty in red. They had some other ones as well on there. That's their brick house. That's a free one. Then there's also this French, I think she's French, maybe not. But they do all 4 seasons, and this is the Christmas one. And this is a free chart that I found. I actually went over to Pinterest for this one, but it actually I saw on Instagram. So that's a very, pretty free Christmas one that I enjoyed. And then this one is by With Thy Needle and Thread. And this is their free one. That one is called Merry Christmas. Oh, Merry and Minty, Part 4. So, and that one was also found on Facebook. I think I saw that one on Facebook. Then Hands-On Designs. I was watching Chantel do her 12 by 12 update, and she is going to do this one. And I thought, maybe I'm going to do that one too, because I think it calls for 14 count Aida, and I'm going to do it black, like chalkboard. I'm going to do it on a 16 count, the same thing that I did, the same fabric, because I still have some of this, that I did the Merry and Bright on. But it's a free one from Hands-On Design called Autumn, or Plaid, Autumn Plaid. But boy, oh boy, is that not cute. Let me see if I can. I love the like turquoise minty green that they used in there. And I just thought that was super pretty. So she had posted that one. That was Hands-On Designs. Their free autumn one that they offered up, which is really neat. So that's going to take me to the next point. Um, New Year's Eve, if you haven't heard, uh, I think it's Kay Lee, Kaya Lee, I'm not sure, and Pam from uh, Just Keep Stitching, Stephanie and Pam, the mom, they are together on Instagram doing a hashtag 12 by 12. And I'll show you the hashtags in a minute. But what you do is it starts at noon on New Year's Eve and goes until, you know, celebratory nighttime. And every hour you work on a different project. So you pick 12. You start at noon, and so noon you do one, and you do one at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 o'clock. You do the last one so that you're kind of done at midnight. You can bring in the new year. If you choose to do new starts, now you have 12 new ones, one for every month of the year. How cool. Or you can pick 12 whips and you're going to do all 12 of those, whips. You have one to do throughout the year as well, each month. And so it's just a good way to get some stuff done on 12 different pieces, have 12 new starts. The hashtags that go along with them, you can go on either team. So I think Pam is going to do, what's she doing? Is she doing both or is she doing, Stephanie was going to do both, whips and new starts. And then I think Pam was maybe going to just do all whips. And then Kia B was going to do maybe the new starts. But Chantel from 141 Design Studios gave these hashtags out that you can go look for them as well. I'll link those down below. And so you go on Instagram and search those hashtags, and then you'll be able to find some of the different groups that are starting to get their things together. So if you go to Chantel's video as well, she shows the 12 that she's going to do. Pam and Steph did a video on Christmas Day and for Just Keep Stitching, and they showed their 12. I'm not going to show my 12. I do have them picked. I have a group that I'm using as starts that I'm going to put in my WIPGO for 2023. And that's the next thing I wanted to talk about. WIPGO is a way in which you can work on getting your WIPs accomplished throughout the year. So Jessie Marie, and I'll link her YouTube video below, Jessie from Jessie Marie, I think is maybe the originator. I'm not sure. It's her videos that I've watched that give extensive details on what WIPGO is and how to utilize it. So it starts with a board, and this I'm not sure, maybe if I get out of the way, there we go. This is what the board looks like. So it's like 1 to 25, and 13, which is dead center in the middle, becomes the free space. So if you've ever played bingo, or that's the center, and so the reason for that is every month 2 numbers will get called. So what you're going to do is you have the list January through December, and 2 numbers will be called. So for instance, let's pretend they call 6 and 10 for January. So you've created a board like this, and you can go on, Facebook has a page, WIPGO page for 2023, and ask to be a part of it. And then comes my dog hanging out with me. Um, you can ask to be a part of that, and then you see everybody else's boards. Now, I'm going to do both WIPs and the new starts that I'm going to start on New Year's Eve and add those to this as well. So I have written out a ton of um, goals, projects to be added. So you need 24 in essence, 25 if you want like the free space one. The reason why she uses the 13 as a free space is because if there's 12 months and she picks two numbers, 25 doesn't go into 12 evenly, but 24 does. So get rid of the 13, that's a free space. So if it's called, you can add something or consider it a win and it's already done and you can cross it off. What you do is you'll put a project on there, and then so they'll have two projects called because two numbers are called, and you can do stitches, like if you want to say I want to put in 2,000 stitches on this project this month, or hours, like maybe you want to work on it an hour every day or 7 hours total, or because there's other things we want to do, not just these, but this is a way to kind of encourage you to make some wins and find some wins and to touch a little bit of everything throughout the year. And what I've done with mine is I have 12 WIPs and I have 12 new starts. And some of those might be completion. Some of them might just be adding, another hour onto it, or a couple hours onto it. Or 7 days in a row I work on it. So I come home at night and whatever amount of time I have at night, I just do it for that. If I've got 20 minutes, if I've got 2 hours, which is rare. But whatever I've got to put in there, add that to it. And then that's a win, and I can cross that off. And maybe I do that 7 days in a row on that one. And then I go back to working on other things that I want. Could be seasonal, doesn't have to be seasonal. It kind of forces you out of seasonal. I mean, it could be called, but because you just never know, it's random, right? You can always change things. I mean, none of this is set in stone. This is just for fun, right? To try and just get you to encourage you to work on a lot of different things and hopefully get some things done. My WIPGO on each number has a project, but it also has a decluttering goal as well. So I came up with, I think 15 different areas of my house. And some of those like if it was a bedroom, I also added the closet. So maybe the bedroom was 1 month and the closet was another month. The bathroom can be 1 month and then maybe a closet in the bathroom is another month. So because I don't have 24 rooms in my house, I had to come up with some other things. So I stretched it that way, and I also want to do some decluttering goals and make sure I'm ticking off all the areas of my house throughout the year too, to just keep things in order and organized. And that's just something in order to keep things down and pared down. As a teacher, I do a lot in the summer and I get a bunch done over breaks, whether it's spring break if I'm home or Christmas break, but it's usually summer that I catch up on everything. Well, I would like to encourage myself, remind myself to work a little bit in each room all the time on, paring things down and, moving stuff out. And it's just I don't know if you watch Minimal Mom, but Dawn from the Minimal Mom, she's my favorite. Cassie from Clutterbug, she's another favorite. But they're wonderful YouTubers who are great at helping you organize your home and declutter it in ways that are accomplishable and are not overwhelming. They give you great tips and tricks and reminders that everything we own, we have to manage. Everything we own, we have to manage the inventory that we have, whether it's our crafts in our craft room or our utensils in our utensil drawer. It's all stuff we have to manage. We have to dig through. We have to constantly upkeep, whether it's washing it or just maintaining it in general. So those are great YouTubers too. I'll list them down below as well. They're fun ones to encourage you in a very positive way and cheerlead you all along to get your house in order as well. So WIPGO is the last thing that I wanted to talk about. Please check out some of those videos if you want more details. I'm just very slightly hitting the tip of it as to what it is. It's a great piece that you can use to encourage yourself to work throughout the year on different projects. But you don't have to stick to it. It's not in stone. I know a lot of people get frustrated every year. I've heard a bunch of videos like, I'm not doing WIPGO this year because I didn't get, I didn't keep up with it. We don't. I mean, a lot of times, that's what all of New Year's resolutions in January has told us from the beginning of when we realized what that was. We want to lose weight. We want to clean our house. We want to, whatever, work out more and become more fit. But that it doesn't always, by the end of January, we're usually, but this is a way I think like to kind of spur you on to every month remind you, hey, okay, so you failed on January's goal. Big deal. Try February. And if you don't even accomplish your goals, if you got it out and looked at it and maybe put a few stitches in it, isn't that better? I mean, just moving forward is an encouragement to me to even remind me of some of the things that I have out there. I did put on mine as well. I think I have 3 different quilt projects that I've either started or purchased to start and want to get accomplished as well. So mine are very ambitious, lofty goals, but who cares? I'm willing to at least try, even if I don't accomplish them. If they're on there to remind me and I'm motivated to at least try a little bit and work a little while, that's awesome. I'm further along than if I had just blissfully stayed in ignorance and kept them hidden in a drawer or a closet or on a shelf somewhere and not touched them. So I hope you've had a Merry Christmas. I hope you have a blessed New Year. It'll definitely be January before I come back, but I am excited to come back and show you many different starts that I've done and let you know how WIPGO goes for the first month. It's my first time trying it. I encourage you to try it too, or try a different aspect of it. Maybe do cleaning certain areas of your house or decluttering like I am. Maybe it doesn't have anything to do with cross stitch, but I wish you a blessed New Year. I hope you keep stitching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next Flosstube. Have a great one.